Thanks for joining us on this edition of National Focus. I'm Jarna Hector. Coming up, a contract has been signed for the expansion of a $700,000 water project in Pointe Michel. Dominica's president addresses the 69th UN General Assembly, and the Bureau of Gender Affairs partners to financially empower women. Stay tuned for details of these and other stories after this.
A lot of bathtubs are blamed for bruises. Some staircases are accused of being responsible for broken bones. Doors are occasionally viewed suspiciously as causing lesions. A high percentage of tables are accused of producing bleeding or trauma. Violence against women is a crime, and it's everyone's responsibility. It's inexcusable. If you're a victim or witness of physical or psychological violence or abuse, seek help and denounce the perpetrator.
Thank you for staying with us. Dominica's head of state, His Excellency President Charles Savre, addressed the 2014 United Nations General Assembly last Friday. In that address, the president detailed Dominica's success in achieving most of the 2014 MDGs. President Savre relayed to the world leaders that the island has made notable progress in reducing poverty, improving access to education, ensuring environmental sustainability, and building strong bilateral and multilateral partnerships. As it relates to education, Dominica has exceeded the goals target to meet universal access to primary education. At present, Dominica boasts universal access to early childhood, primary and secondary school, as well as to college education for all qualifying applicants. The president also highlighted Dominica's efforts to keep true to its brand as the nature island. For environmental sustainability, Dominica has invested in renewable geothermal energy. The president noted that about 20% of the country's electricity is derived from clean hydropower, and that the Labour Party government has invested over $20 million in geothermal resources. The president noted, however, that assistance from more developed states could be increased for small island developing states or SIDS to reach their goals. President Savre closed his speech with these remarks.
The outcomes of the third United Nations Conference on SIDS in Samoa should serve as a blueprint for the growth and development of SIDS. This should include the restructuring of the international financial and trading architecture that takes into account the vulnerabilities and special circumstances of SIDS. This new dispensation will allow for the development of SIDS through sustainable agriculture, tourism, and inclusive industrial development. These efforts, however, must be propelled by sustainable energy that maximizes the use of renewable energy resources in the most energy-efficient manner that are SIDS appropriate. Mr. President, I wish all delegates to this 69th session every success in their deliberations. I thank you.
The Ministry of Education is advocating for support of the educators in Dominica. The call was made at the National Excellence in Education Awards ceremony on Wednesday. Acting Chief Education Officer Melina Fontaine shares that view.
In our quest to realize the vision that each child succeeds, we recognize that schools must exist as much for teachers as for students. And to use the words of a prominent educator, I quote, "Schools will be successful in nurturing the intellectual, social, and moral development of children only to the extent that they also nurture such development of teachers," end quote.
To show their appreciation for these educators, the Ministry of Education and Human Resource Development gave substantial cash prizes to all finalists.
Educators, as adult professionals, also need challenges. Educators, as adult professionals, also need the validation of adults. Educators, as adult professionals, also need the support of peers. Educators, as adult professionals, also need the guidance of wise leaders. Educators, as adult professionals, also need the recognition of society, the understanding of the media, and indeed that of government. We are here today to validate you as adult professionals who have responded to the challenge that comes from the society's commitment to giving every child, in Mont Jean to Mont Daniel, girl or boy, from Portsmouth to Petite Savanne, an equal opportunity to learn.
Honorable Minister for Information, Telecommunications and Constituency Empowerment, Ambrose George, who represented the Prime Minister, believes that youth involvement is critical in the sustenance of the island's culture. The Honorable Minister, in his address at the official opening of the 2014 Independence celebrations last Friday, called for the participation of more young people in cultural activities.
We have seen a greater involvement of our youth during our independence celebrations and our cultural celebrations by extension. And I would like to see this year that continued aspect in terms of the involvement of our youth, our children, whether it's in the traditional dress, the traditional dances, the conte, playing the role in the celebrations this year.
Henry Hasselt Williams is the new chairman of the Pointe Michel Village Council. The council's 15th inaugural meeting was held at the Pointe Michel Community Center on Tuesday. 7 councillors were sworn in to serve the community for the next 3 years. The new chairman was, however, absent from that meeting due to illness. In her address, Deputy Chairperson Erica Lewis applauded the Roosevelt Skerritt administration for improving the lives of Pointe Michel residents.
I wish to thank the government for their commitment to protecting our people and development of our community. We have so much to be thankful for, such as the City Events Wall, the bars at Hollywood, Union Estate housing scheme, the 30 new jobs in the community under NEP program, and soon to commence, I hope, the Ravine Wall in Chimenef, Sibouli. We look forward to your further strengthening our relationship with the government.
Tuesday's meeting was attended by His Excellency, the President of Dominica, Charles Savre, and Mrs. Savre, Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt, government officials, and scores of residents of that community. Former Chairman Glenn Etienne says the past council had performed well during the last 3 years.
We, under the BNTF project, that we established a resource center right adjacent to the building downstairs. We did a number of other projects for people who know the Bouidon area, the Derbaikat area, and even the slabs of the Mont Jean area to Gandhi. All this was done under the past council. And these are tangible things. When I mean tangible things, these are things that are going to remain in Pointe Michel. It's not going to go over for the next 2 years or 3 years. I mean, other than maybe a drain, which we have to do, and cleaning areas, which is an everyday stuff. But I still believe that productivity is, in terms of tangibleness, things that somebody can say that over the years that Pointe Michel have achieved. And over the past council, we did achieve this goal.
The Honorable Acting Minister for Social Services, Community Development and Gender Affairs, Ambrose George, encouraged residents of that community to support the efforts of the new council. Honorable George says the DLP administration will continue to provide support to the council as it seeks to further develop the community.
Government will continue to provide financial assistance and technical support to assist you in meeting your objectives. I say continue because, as we have seen, This government has been at work in Pointe Michel. In fact, our social programs embrace every corner of this country, and Pointe Michel is no exception. In addition to the ongoing initiatives such as housing construction and renovation, public assistance and assistance to the elderly and vulnerable, government has from last year implemented the sanitation program, which has brought ease and comfort to many, particularly the aged, ailing, and infirm.
Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit voiced his commitment and that of his government to work with the new council to foster further development of the southern community.
We will provide you with all of the support required. There's the housing, and I will not speak, we have made some monies available that will be transferred to the council very soon for the washroom program here in this constituency to address the issue of washrooms in this part. And of course, the Union Estate was purchased in 1983-86 thereabout. And we paid, under very trying circumstances, over $5 million for the Union Estate. It took this government, after so many years, to pay for the Union Estate. And all, in addition to this $5 million we paid, we have spent in excess of $3 million putting infrastructure, the roads and the water and lights in the Union Estate. And this is, for me, one of the best housing developments we have in Dominica.
The Pointe Michel Village Council was first inaugurated in 1970. GIS News will bring you further details of Tuesday's meeting in Thursday's newscast. Residents of Pointe Michel will soon have an improved water supply system. A contract was signed on Tuesday for the expansion of the water project at the cost of more than $700,000. The Honorable Minister for Lands, Housing, Settlements and Water Resource Management, Reginald Austrie, explained why the project was very important at this point in the community's expansion.
Of this, what we just signed was $375,000 just for the labor component of the water project, and the balance will be for the pipeline works and other related activities. Presently, you are being served by this little tank you see there, which is a capacity of some 15,000 gallons. But with the rapid expansion, the water supply is just totally and completely inadequate. And the only reason why we have not moved to allocate the balance of the land is because we do not have the water yet to service those lots. And so by later towards the end of this year, next year, when that water system will be commissioned, it will not only improve the water system in Union Estate, but the entire Pointe Michel community will benefit from it.
In other news, the Ministry of Community Development, Social Services and Gender Affairs, through the Bureau of Gender Affairs, has partnered with the National Development Foundation of Dominica for the advancement of the island's rural women, as outlined in the Bureau's mandate.
Recognizing the important role that women play, and especially our rural community and rural women play in the development process, we, through the National Gender Policy, also flagged and promoted and provided some recognition that some focus should also be placed on providing and supporting rural women.
Since 2006, several women have received training on various projects organized by the Bureau in collaboration with the Organization of American States. This loan facility was designed to help women who underwent these training sessions to move to start their own business projects.
We felt that it was necessary to start to provide some starting, whether we say starting capital or some small revolving fund. So through that we established within the NDFD, with the support of NDFD, a small revolving loan fund for women who are into productive activities, which could include agriculture. In fact, a number of persons, women, have benefited from that, and it is really operated by the NDFD, but it was through an initiative of the Bureau to support.
To date, 33 women have benefited from the loan facility, totaling over $83,000. Continuation of the project as a revolving credit facility is dependent on the repayment of these loans. The NDFD has also received more funds from the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture for lending to women in rural Dominica. To date, 22 women have received assistance, totaling over $39,000. Applications for this loan facility should be done through the Bureau of Gender Affairs. Brown says it's an opportunity for rural women to make their own contribution to national development. She also informed that staff of the NDFD and other financial institutions will be present at World Rural Women's Day celebrations on October 12 in La Plaine. GIS will bring you more on activities planned for World Rural Women's Day 2014 in a subsequent newscast. And for the first time, representatives of the Discover Dominica Authority and the Dominica Festivals Committee are targeting Trinidad as a potential market for visitors to the island. Currently, festivals promoter at DFC, Wadix Charles, and Director of Tourism, Colin Piper, are in Trinidad promoting Dominica as a destination, as well as highlighting the World Creole Music Festival.
Dominica is being marketed in Trinidad as a destination, and as a tourism product, and then we incorporated, letting persons know about the World Creole Music Festival in that avenue. I mean, the momentum from the Trinidad patrons may not build up this year, but letting them at least know that we have a festival that is 18 years and moving on will look better for patrons coming in at our 19th anniversary.
And that's the English news. McPherson St.Luce is next with the Creole highlights.
Allô tout le monde, bienvenue à ces nouvelles en créole. Non moins, c'est McPherson St.Luce. Premièrement, Dominique est bien représenté en grand meeting standard international pour maladies qui peuvent affecter plan. Chef département quarantine Ryan Ansem représenté Dominique en meeting là qui prend place en Jamaïque.
Meeting ça là, c'est pour garder compte draft ISPM. Ça c'est international standard pour phytosanitary measure. Tout de l'année, ça IPPC qu'a fait. IPPC, c'est International Plant Protection Convention. Yo qui n'est tout bitin pour garder comment maladie plan. Yo ka gouverner ça. Ça yo ka fait, yo ka ba nous draft standard. Pour nous garder tout de l'année comme pays. Ça nous fait qu'on croyable région, nous faisons 3 jours en Jamaïque. Nous regardons comment ça a affecté nous et comment nous implémenter ces draft standards.
Il y a un autre bagage qui discute, c'est voitures et machines qui déjà servi et puis en ces pays-là.
Standard ça c'est garder use vehicles, use machinery, use equipment. Comment ces bagages ça a montré Dominique. Comme ça ces bagages ça a montré, c'est un risque ici. Risque pour mener maladie en yo ka mener ça qui en anglais high risk. Yo ka mener tout bagage, yo ça mener débris, yo ça mener seeds, yo ça mener tout bagage montré. Ça nous pli consommer c'est terre yo ça mener. Ça ka venir en le taille voiture, terre ka venir. Test dangereux, test ça mène tout pathogène, yo ça mène virus, yo ça mène fungi. C'est pour ça nous ka dit nous tout monde qui ka fait business en ça ka mène c'est use vehicle ça monte Dominique nous joindre avec yo, nous joindre avec custom avec port aussi, avec monde qui ka mène seeds aussi. So nous joindre avec ces monde ça là. So c'est des standards ça là. Yon pour faire use vehicle, use equipment, use tire, yon pour comment on peut mener seeds en pays. So encore meeting ça est bon, nous ka regarder comment nous ka implémenter ça à Dominique.
En autre nouvelle, Dominique qui branché et puis d'autres pays ont la terre pour célébrer journée femmes rurales, ça créé International Rural Women's Day mois là. Si le directeur Bureau Gender Rosie Brown, ça fait préparation manger, c'est un aspect qui mette attention à ça.
Magwe journée là, c'est les 15 octobre. Mais because of arrangement nous fait pour nous taper programme là en part of dependence agenda, nous les deuxième dimanche en octobre pour ça ni culinary art exposition là. So nous because of ça nous ni activité là les 12 mois octobre nan ça là qui a deuxième dimanche en octobre. So ça nous a fait qu'on nous a fait c'est troisième année nous ni en manière ça là off moi ni pour dire nous ka observer World Rural Women's Day depuis l'année 2007. Actually nous supposé to the 2008 because United Nations déclaré l'année là en 2007. Avec nous observé depuis 2008 parce que nous avons fait différentes activités. Mais 3 années, moi ça dit 2012, nous décidé pour faire en différentes manières. Et nous avons fait culinary and art exposition. Nous savons culinary c'est à manière manger pour promouvoir comment on peut présenter, comment on peut faire préparer en différentes manières à un certain level.
En d'autres nouvelles, le gouvernement Dominique fait available en Union Estate par résident La Pointe. Parole celle-là sortie au ministre Kai, Honorable Reginald Ostring. Sinon, Honorable Ostring, le gouvernement déjà investi en l'argent à ces Union Estate en l'année qui passe. Honorable Ostring dit check temps pendant saison indépendant, résident La Pointe qui tape papier te à yo, bagay qui facilite yo bâti maison. Et le gouvernement qui tient en cérémonie pour mon Union Estate qui bâti casa yo. Ministre Ostring aussi bien plaisir que le gouvernement te sa vente par résident pour appuyer $7 en square foot pour faire assurer que mon wansala bâti casa yo. Et puis finalement, promotion pour le Festival Créole Mondial l'année 2014 qui a continué week-end là. Parole celle-là, sorti hors officier DFC, Mademoiselle Marva Williams.
Nous avons aussi présenté ticket saison là pour week-end là, nous avons continué et puis driver là, et puis roadshow là, si maintenant ça, nous avons aller Gouambé samedi, et sous marché, taper ticket tout à $200 et c'est, nous avons présenté encore pour $250. Nous avons invité tout le monde à Crazy Coconuts aussi vendredi, ou que taper ticket là à $250. Nous avons Cross Vibes, nous avons Aftermath Band, nous avons DJ Smooth. Comme ça, vous prenez pour payer pour venir là. C'est un driver, ou ka venir, ou ka taper information contre festival là, ou ka taper opportunité pour gagner ticket pour venir au festival là. Et nous avons patinant dans nous là, DJ Cell, nous avons toutes ces belles là. Heineken, Carib, Koubouli et nous avons aussi ni Appleton Rum. Mais c'est un grand spectacle aussi pour faire mon Momentum Festival là grandi et pour faire moun bien excité pour venir en jouer 3 soirs pour certain rhythms.
Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelle en créole pour à présent. Non, moi c'est McPherson St.Luce. Au revoir.
Are you getting enough calcium for your age? Find out next.
DOWASCO recognizes that clean water is vital to healthy living. Therefore, it spares no effort in providing a clean, safe, and reliable system. Help keep our rivers safe and clean. Do not cut trees along the river banks and do not pollute with garbage, human or animal feces, and chemicals. Think water, think life.
Many people do not get the recommended amount of calcium from the foods they eat, including boys aged 9 to 13, girls aged 9 to 18, women older than 50, and men older than 70. Insufficient intakes of calcium do not produce obvious symptoms in the short term because the body maintains calcium levels in the blood by taking it from the bone. But over the long term, intakes of calcium below recommended levels have health consequences such as causing low bone mass and increased risks of osteoporosis and bone fractures. So don't skip dairy, broccoli, cabbage, or canned fish, which are good sources of calcium. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website news.gov.dm. Like our Facebook page, facebook.com/GIS News Dominica. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. From all of us here on the GIS News Production team, I'm Jarna Hector. Thank you for watching.